sweeties, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, The Sweet Life of Mary Kay. I'm Sweet Mary Kay, and today we got a special guest.
Very special.
This is my best friend. This is the best friend that helped me move all my stuff from Dallas to Mississippi. This is the best friend that be down for whatever. I mean, not the bad stuff, because we don't do bad stuff. No. But she down. And so I'm gonna let her introduce herself.
So my name is Quatasia, y'all. Yes, this is the twin. Everybody gets us mixed up.
Yeah, everybody does get us mixed up. So we want to start a series or just a conversation. I don't know how many videos this will turn into, but we want to talk about friendships as adults, because you know we growing out here. So just so you can get to know about our friendship, we're going to start with the introduction of how we met and just kind of who we are. We met at the Jackson State University. Do not play with us, baby. Don't play with us. Okay, so we met in 2017 in the social work program undergrad year. We were actually both transfers. She had a class together.
Yes.
And
I was gonna say it's like a movie, y'all. The way she just turned around and was talking to me.
Yes, because the table I was sitting at, it had a rolly chair, and the table she was sitting at had a rolly chair, but we were like back to back and always turning around.
I don't know what our professor had said something, and then you turned around because we both.
Yeah, we just always used to know, like. We just, honestly, we clicked from the beginning. We hung out
we were always like around each other.
We were always in the same group.
Yes,
we used to get in group projects together. And
the way God just did it, y'all.
Yeah, and then, but we were, I mean, no shade, but we were like two of the smartest ones in the class.
No shade at all.
We're intelligent women.
Yeah. Not only that, because there definitely are some smart people in the class, but we are vocal.
Yes, we were very vocal. Yeah. Always connected in that realm, but then, like, you know, she was kind of hanging with people, and I won't even really, you know.
We just had different friend groups.
We did have different friend groups. Fast forward, we graduated undergrad.
Yes, honey.
And
even then we were like around, but we didn't really.
It was just kind of high,
like, oh hey,
it was
Mary,
like yeah. We always used to be like, for grad school, we not going to Jackson State. We was like, we not going to get our master's. We wanted to leave. Diversity, all that. We wanted to do all that, and then we ended up running into each other that June after we graduated in May at the grad school orientation. And so it was like after that we went to lunch, and then I had worked a job in undergrad that she ended up going to work at, but I wasn't there anymore.
Right.
But that summer after graduation, I came back. And so it was like we was always together.
Yes.
At that point, because we had started grad school and then the job, so it was like we always crossed each other's paths. And so after that, that's when we started like hanging out. Like I have came over, spent the night.
Yeah, like, that's where our sleepover started.
Yeah,
I don't know any other grown women that have sleepovers.
Girl, we gonna spend the night. We gonna spend the night. I don't care until we both get married, because we getting married.
We are.
But anyway, so we started spending the night, and we just got closer and closer and closer. And then one day, she was like, we were talking. So a little backstory about me and my friendships. I've always been that friend that gave. So she.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's. We have so many similarities.
Yes, and so I, for a long time, was like real like hesitant on calling people my best friend, or like I just really I didn't put no real title, no emphasis, because I wasn't trying to get hurt. So it was like, okay, let me not give, and then you ain't really feeling me like I'm feeling you. So, but one day we was in my office, I think, and she was just like, yes, I consider you my best friend.
And I really don't remember that. You say that all the time, and I don't remember that moment.
Yeah, she was like, yes, I consider you my best friend. And I was like, really?
But I know after that, like Mary and I have been like just our bond, we were just always with each other. I grew to understand her more and to really love her personality, and I was like, oh my goodness, like this
and I think really like we had maybe like a situation where I ain't gonna say like disagreement, but I think we had a situation where we had to talk through. It was one time in the office, I can't remember what it was about, and that don't matter.
I don't know.
But we were So it was like in moments like this, it's like, okay, she's really trying to understand, and she's really trying to get an understanding of who I am or why I feel this way, and vice versa.
And that was so different for me in friendships, because friends that I've been around and stuff, they did not like those conversations.
Exactly.
They didn't want to have it. They would shut it down. Yes. But it was something different where her was like, wow, like you said, she really cares. She really wants to get an understanding, to grow, be better. And I was like, wow, this girl is
And speaking of us talking about like the communication aspect and disagreements and stuff, this is exactly why we want to have those conversations about adult friendships. And the first one that we really do want to talk about today is communication. Like that is so important, because not every issue in a friendship is worth termination. Like everybody not shiesty, everybody not fake. Like there's some people who care about your feelings.
Absolutely. And communication is always hit on with other relationships. It's always nurturing other relationships. You know, your romantic relationships. Communication is talked about and hit on. But then when it comes to friendship, it's so malnourished.
And I was telling her, like, I feel like it's because people just expect friends to, I guess, stay around like through thick and thin. They have that type of mindset, and it's like, no,
you still have to talk and work through
you have to nurture it. Oh, and so another disclaimer is we are licensed social workers. Sometimes we might sound a little social worky because it just comes out.
Natural.
Like, they told us in undergrad it was gonna be like that.
So as we get into communication, the basis of it, of course, starts at the family. And I feel like that feeds into your relationship styles as you get older. Well, communication styles and relationships. So in the family, I feel like if that communication was toxic, or if y'all didn't really talk, or if it was just yelling and stuff, then it starts to flow like that into your friendships. Then you don't really know how to talk, or you back off and whatnot. Like there's some families where things are just taboo. It's shush, don't talk about it. So then when you
it's like, if you do want to talk about it, it's kind of like, I'm the parent, you don't really have a voice type of thing. Or people are taught kind of like in a selfish matter, like kind of my feelings matter, yours don't. A lot of stuff starts at like childhood and just generational almost. And so it's like, if we don't have conversations like this, we can't address it at the root and bring change to it. And so I feel like a lot of people do have to learn how to communicate. I think that, like you said earlier, about most people are so willing to communicate in other relationships, whether that's with your boss, whether that's with your significant other, whether that's with people outside of friendship. It's just something about friendships that people need to pour more into, like really nurture it.
It's like she was saying, you need to pour into those friendships. People want to discuss things that are important in romantic relationships, like, oh no, we need to talk about this, we're going to address it, we're going to work through it. Or even at your employer, like you said, oh no, I don't like how this was done, we're going to talk about it, we're going to get it done. But then when it comes to friendships, they don't want to do it. Why is that? Why is that love not poured into there either, where you're like, okay, I care about this, we need to work through it, we need to talk about it, without feeling like that's the end of the friendship.
I hate it. Well, I don't think anybody likes conflict. Conflict is just not a comfortable thing to do, but it's necessary, and all conflict is not always negative and bad.
It strengthens
it does
so
strengthen
much.
the relationship. I feel like if you don't really have conflict, it's like, what tests and trials have you really been through together to even, what does your friendship stand on?
What's that foundation? How do you know that y'all really like that if y'all never even worked through something?
It's like, if we're gonna say, oh, we're best friends and we plan to keep this relationship forever, it's obviously gonna take work. Like, I think sometimes friends are seasonal. People are definitely seasonal, but there are some relationships that are God ordained, or that are ordained to last forever, and it does not have to end based off of some terrible communication. So I feel like ways to strengthen the communication within your friendship is, one, listening. And don't
actively listen.
Yes, do not listen to respond.
Listen to understand.
Yes, because most times people listen to just reply. I've been guilty of that because I'm a talker, and I'm so easily want to like defend myself and just like make sure I'm getting my point across. Sometimes it's like, no, you gotta listen to see what she's saying. Even with situations that we've had, I think the first situation we had was about the
Was it at the
mask? No. Well, originally, yes, I don't remember that, but I'm talking about when we was like friends like that. Our first thing was about, and so in that, you know, she told me how she felt, and I had to learn that, like, even though I may not even have agreed with what she said, it's the fact that her feelings are valid. I made her feel some type of way. I need to acknowledge and address that. I think sometimes it goes back to being selfish. Like, we gotta learn that even if I don't agree, like you still gotta honor that. And that goes with learning people's communication styles, learning what their preferred styles is, learning what hurts them or bothers them,
and respect it. I respect that it did make you feel that way, and let's work on it. What can I do to improve it? Or, you know, what communication, like you said, communication styles, what can we do better next time to make sure we don't really hit that rod?
And speaking of that, let's talk about what to text, call, FaceTime,
because not everything needs to be text. Sometimes we gotta talk this thing out, and then even on the phone, sometimes we need to be in person and talk about this. Like recently, we had a situation where and then I left to New Jersey, and it's still lingering after that. And it was like, okay, you know what? We can't. We voice memo. But it was like, no, we need to sit down and talk about this.
And one thing before we go into that, you have to be mindful too of like the enemy, okay? He comes to steal, kill, and destroys. The enemy does not want relationships to prosper. That's just what it is. And so you have to really put your pride aside and really be willing to be like, no, we need to fix this. This needs to be addressed. Cause I ain't gonna lie, you was gone for like 2 weeks, and it was just, that was like the longest like little.
And you could tell, like even when we would text and try to text
it was like so much.
Things. It was like, okay.
And it was really just a lot of misunderstanding. I know you say always. But a lot of stuff do really be misunderstanding.
It could be a misunderstanding, but it's really like acknowledging, even though it was a misunderstanding, I see how this misunderstanding could have hurt you.
Right. And
that
it's like
back to respect.
Exactly. And really valuing the feelings behind it. Not, well, I don't care because it didn't hurt me, it shouldn't hurt you. You gotta know, people are different. People were not raised like you. People do not think like you. With that being said, knowing that people don't think the way that you think, you have to take that into consideration and talk it out, and that's what's so important. So when she finally got back from Jersey, we had to have this whole like night, like it was like
we sat down and we prayed over it first prayer, because like she said, the enemy wants to destroy that. So you need to pray against pride when you're having those conversations. You need to pray for understanding,
and just even wisdom to just even handle the situation in the right way. Because I said 2 weeks, but she was actually gone for like 3 weeks. I don't think we didn't meet up, because even when you got back,
then it was the Christmas party.
It was so it was.
So it didn't talk. It
did linger, and you can kind of just tell. Like it was just kind of like, this is my best friend. She not going nowhere, but it's like,
it's still
this issue. Outside of what we had going on, I had my own personal stuff going on. She had her own personal stuff going on, and so that's another thing. Like you just have to be mindful. Like people are going through stuff, and so if you really want things to work, you gotta work for it. And so that night we got together, and I had written out like stuff, and she had written out stuff. And that's another thing I kind of want to talk about, is like holding on to stuff. And it's not that, I wouldn't even say we were intentionally doing it. I think that certain stuff we felt like we had to just kind of brush off really needed to be addressed.
Right. And it's the little things, but the more and more little things start to happen, it just pile up and pile up. So you need to talk about it, let it go. I mean, I had some stuff that was almost a year.
Girl, it was.
Now, granted, I don't want to make it seem as if we just argue and bicker all the time.
But it was little stuff that, because we are both strong friends, you know, we were, so it's kind of like, we could just take it and let it go. But no, like everything that goes back to what I said earlier, everything is not an argument or it's just bad.
It's just a discussion
talk
that
about
needs to happen.
Yeah, like even the other day, she had asked for a robe for her a long time ago, last year. So anyway, I got her a robe. But then when I got to her house, I saw she had another robe on. And I was like, I was really like, you got a rose? I was like, you got another rose? I was like, why didn't you just say that? Like, I know I was just like, what? But anyway, I said all to say, that was something that was minor, but it bothered me. And so instead of waiting till I left in a couple of days, after we was doing whatever we was doing, we was actually getting her for this. Yeah. I was like, okay, the road situation bothered me. And she listened. She understood. After I explained, that's another thing, you can't be prideful. It's so many things.
Because our mindsets are different. Like in my head, I'm thinking.
Yes, she processed it. You processed process is so different.
Because everybody, we're individuals. It's going to be different. But because our mindsets are different, I still respected her mindset and how it made her feel some type of way. You have to respect.
And so if you don't know by now, a lot of healthy friendships and healthy communication within friendships starts with respect.
Yeah.
And just really valuing one another.
The value.
Yeah. And
because when you really care for somebody, you're gonna work for it, you're gonna talk about it. People do that in romantic relationships, but
and platonic friendships are so important. Like they're friendships throughout the Bible. And so we just really want you to have healthy friendships, starting with communication. Like friendships, and I know I done said friendships like 10 times.
I mean, it's a friendship.
I know. It's so important. Like we were never made and created to be alone.
Right.
Like we were created to walk this earth with people, to do life with people, and we get to do life together. Like we really do. Like when I think about it, how we met, we did undergrad together, we did masters together,
worked together,
we worked together,
even at YP
together. Yeah, so we just really wanted to share with you. We appreciate you having this conversation with us. Do you have any closing words?
Just honor your friendships. Put in the work for it.
Put friendships require work. Per usual, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments, please leave them below. We would love to hear from you. If you feel like this video would be beneficial to somebody, do not be selfish and share that link with them. Connect with me on Instagram at @sweet_MaryK. You want to give yours?
Girl, Quatasia. Y'all not gonna know how to spell that.
I'll put it on the screen. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.